baby, I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. All night. Would you call me old-fashioned if I kiss you in the rain in Manhattan? Oh, I can't wait until my lips are on yours. I can't help the way that I'm feeling. The way you look tonight is so appealing. Hold up, I need to pace myself. You're the bullet to my heart, I swear. I swear. Only took one shot. Only took one shot. The only thing I'll promise is I'll give you all I've got. Oh, you remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby, I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right.
Yeah, look, alright. Now pretty bourbon brown eyes, can I grab you off the shelf? You sweet but you strong, I gotta have you to myself. I'm trying to let you know that you're the only drink I'm trying to pour. Girl, it's Dunson, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look, I had a couple, so you know I'm telling the truth. I don't settle for Kettle One, I don't settle for Goose. First we had a couple rounds just to see how it go. Now it's time to tap that barrel, girl, let's see how it flow. You got that caramel dripping, now I'm sipping. They can't take you straight, but baby, I'm built different. It feels different. Listen, you keep getting Dunson loose. You far from the jungle juice, but you keep it 100 proof. I don't need no Coca-Cola or no Sprite for you. And yeah, you good on the rocks, might put that ice on you. You got that Jameson, that Johnny, or that Jack, and you can miss me. I need bourbon in my life, cause baby, you my favorite whiskey. Come on.
I don't want you holding back. Tell me everything, and I do mean everything. It's time for last call. You know that this liquor been flowing faster than free fall. If we keep going, I might not be able to recall. My favorite bourbon. Take a sip of you, baby, I'm swerving from left to right. Left to right. You remind me of my favorite bourbon. Take 2 more shots, you know I'm swerving from left to right. Oh, let the band play on, and they'll be playing our song.
Girl, it's Dunson, aka the slurring bourbon connoisseur. And look.
Hey y'all, what's smacking? How you crack-a-lacking? How you crack-a-lacking? What's smacking? Happy Thursday. Power to the people. Hey LaWanda, hey London, hey Solomons, hey C Love, hey Ray Rap, hey Cruz, thanks for the resub. Hey Brown Eyes, how you doing? Hey Crazy Berry Town. Hey everybody, what's going on? Hey Locke, how you doing? It's me. It's me. It's really me underneath all of this. Her. It's me. Yep. Yeah, I got my afro today. You know, had to wear that for Black History. Angela Davis. That's what Ray Rap said. Yup, it's me. Only thing I'm missing is, you know, the pick with the fist on it, right? And if I had time to find one, I would have found one. But here I am today with y'all. Okay. Hey, Eb, how you doing? And thanks for the resub. I appreciate it. We got a hype train. Thank you all. Hey, Diz, how you doing? Anybody else? Hey, Mac, how you doing? So we are here, you all, and I am live from Lock and Key Media Studios in the ATL Shouty. And last show we celebrated Valentine's with an N. Hey, Thomas. Valentine's Day. I reviewed my whiskey field trip. Shout out to the Augusta Bourbon Society. Check it out on YouTube. If you are not following me, please follow me on YouTube. Tell all your friends to follow me on YouTube, whether they know me or not. Just tell them to give me a follow on YouTube. But you can see that last show there. But today, it's the Blackity Black History of Liquor, Lickety Lick show, as D-Man called it. He added a bunch of lickities and licks and all of that, but it's the liquor show. Thomas, thank you so much for the gift subs. I appreciate it. Hey, C Love. But that's what we're doing today. And we have a lot to cover. A lot. Because this was a rabbit hole that I went down. And you all know I always go down some rabbit hole on this show. But this one was vast and deep and important. So I am going to start off with my don't come in here clowning, acting crazy on the Black History Show. And what I mean by that is, we joke, we have a great time, we laugh. That's what we do. I am sitting here in a Afro wig. However, this is not the show for people to come in here talking crazy talk, because my mods will ban you. Just letting you know. There will not be any timeouts, none of that nonsense. You would be banned. Okay. So anyway, let's get going. Hey, Living Life Golden. Let's get going with this, because again, I have a lot that I want to talk about today. You all know that normally, hey Decca, how you doing? Normally I do not start off with a drink. So two things are going to be different about tonight. First of all, I'm going to start off pouring a shot, because we're going to honor our ancestors today on this show. The second thing is, I am not making any cocktails today. I'm just going to be tasting some things and giving you all my rating and my feedback and giving you some history and information about the things. But we have some videos. I have some resources for you. We have a slideshow. You don't have to worry. The slideshow is educational tonight. I promise you, it's no trickery or fraganagle bullshit on that. Hey, Lady Prestige, how you doing? Because again, this is the Blackity Black History Show. Y'all see I got my Luther King on my shirt. Got my Angela Davis here. We ready. All right. So I told you I am starting with a shot. So I have talked about this item on the show before, but I want to show you this. I love the bottle. This is called Tom Bullocks Burnt Orange Bourbon. And this is some good stuff. And I have what I call a corner, because that's all it is. It's just a little corner. But I am going to drink this corner today. And I am going to talk about Tom Bullock in the slideshow. And I'm going to pour up my corner right now. Just a quick fact, they say that Tom Bullock is the person who created the old fashioned. And he was an African American. Okay, this was a very generous corner. It was more of a corner than I thought. And I will be saving my bottle. Those of you who remember when I talked about Tom Bullock on this show, I drove to Kennesaw, Georgia to get this bottle of Tom Bullock. And Kennesaw is a nice little hike from Lisa's house. Just saying. In Atlanta traffic, I think it took me roughly about an hour or so to make that trip, but it was well worth it. And my thought was, if everything that my ancestors have been through warranted me being able to go and get this bottle of Tom Bullock, I'd make the trip. And I will go make another trip. So I'm going to put that to the side. And I'm going to say cheers to you all, to Black History Month. If you got something that you can do some cheers with, let's make a toast. Get some water, get whatever. Hey, the D-Train, how you doing? And thank you so much for the bits. I appreciate it. I'm going to give y'all a minute to do that. Get something and toast up with me, please. Again, this is to our ancestors, to all the people that have come before us, not just in the liquor industry, not just in distillation, but everybody that paved the way for us. For me to be sitting here talking to you all, and for you all to be out there being able to be on Twitch or YouTube or wherever you're viewing from, looking at me. So let's cheers. Let's drink to that because it is worthy of a drink. All right. Cheers, y'all. Hey, Miss KB. Miss KB said, OMG. Locke is cheersing up with some water. That's so good. That's so good. Okay. I'm going to put it to the side because we are going to get into some videos. But let me tell you a little bit about Tom Bullock. At least a bottle of Tom Bullock. Put on my glasses so I can actually see. This is burnt orange bourbon, straight bourbon whiskey infused with natural flavor. It says spirits for shaking, stirring, and enjoying neat, which is exactly how I poured it. 82.3 proof. The bottle, I think, is beautiful. On the side of it, it talks about the story of Tom Bullock, the ideal bartender, which I am going to talk about in the slideshow. And he is considered a trailblazer in the art of cocktail. And then on the back, it has a recipe for an old fashioned. So, and it's super simple: 1 lump of sugar, 2 dashes of bitters, and 1.5 jiggers of Tom Bullock burnt orange bourbon. So there we go. So let's get into our videos and our other information. So we're going to start off with a video about how Kentucky slaves helped build the bourbon whiskey industry. So let's roll on that one.
Kentucky bourbon has a storied history, but the first chapters are likely missing some of bourbon's most influential characters. WHS 11's John Charlton tries to piece together the puzzle of Black history in bourbon history.
History in the making. The spirit of America. Born in oak barrels not long after independence, and soon to become a whiskey for the ages. Many had a hand in making bourbon what it is today, even though most of America's archives are not necessarily fully inclusive. Bourbon historian Mike Veach has witnessed that for himself.
Pretty much an unplumbed area of history.
Specifically, Black history in bourbon history.
It supplied a lot of jobs all through its history.
Of course, slaves couldn't choose where they worked, and some worked at distilleries. Veach says he found a distiller's ledger at the Filson Historical Society in Louisville.
From the 1840s, and it talks about renting out slaves, but it doesn't mention their names, doesn't mention what they were being rented out for, or anything, you know, so you just have to assume that they were probably being rented out to one of the neighbors to help make whiskey.
Although their historical contributions are not well documented, Veach says there is evidence that certain slaves may have done more than just the heavy lifting.
From one of the newspapers at that time, where Andrew Jackson had a slave that ran away in Tennessee, and he was advertising in Louisville to find this slave. And one of the things that he mentioned is that this slave was really good distilling.
Unlikely any slave master would ever give his slave the title master distiller. However, another black man in Tennessee,
Nearest Green,
basically was.
who taught Jack Daniels how to distill whiskey, you know, as a slave.
After slavery, Nearest Green and then his son stuck with Jack Daniels. Their descendants even remain to this day. From Prohibition to today's bourbon craze, generations have passed. and a new generation
Continue to make bourbon history.
is distilling in West Louisville, a family business
This is a craft distillery.
of three brothers, Chris, the marketer,
It's definitely unique.
Victor, the CEO,
We've been at it for 8-9 years.
and Bryson, the distiller.
We are the first African-American distillery in Kentucky.
They are the Arbros behind Bro Brothers Bourbon.
Kentucky is the bourbon capital of the world, but I never thought that Bro Brothers would be having our own bourbon and producing our own bourbon.
Established in Park Hill, it's a small batch operation for now and is expected to only get better with age. But, as they've said, Bro Brothers
We are on record for being Kentucky's first black-owned distillery.
has already made its mark on bourbon history, which is, unlike in the past, finally well documented.
African Americans always contributed, whether or not that's been acknowledged. And I think this key movement to make that acknowledgement known. And I think that's where we are now. We can help push that narrative forward and that understanding of the history forward with Bro Brothers as well being living history.
Making history. And history in the making. African Americans no longer hidden figures in bourbon's future. John Charlton, WHS 11, on your side.
Okay, y'all are clapping. Hey, Out Loud, how you doing? Some other people came in here, so I wanted to make sure I said hello to everybody. Hey, Natty, I don't think I spoke to you, but how are you? So, yes, I definitely wanted to show that video, and I want to just say that there's a lot of information out there, but you got to dig for it. Like a lot of things on Googly, right? You got to really look for them. Hey, Keith, how you doing? But that was a video that I came across several times. And so I felt like it was important to show that. And I thought it was very interesting, and I'm sure it's not a surprise to us that, of course, a lot of the individuals that were involved, there was no name attached, right? They were just listed as, slaves or by their first name. But they came with that expertise from Africa. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more when I talk about Nearest Green. But I wanted to make sure that we started off kind of with that. And some other people came in and resubbed. Hey, Miss Yvonne, she resubbed. Thank you. And Lioness Nala, I appreciate it. Appreciate the support very much. So I do have a slideshow. And again, this slideshow is for real. Like, y'all don't have to worry. It ain't no crazy pictures or no Christmas stuff. Halloween stuff, nothing like that.
No, I can co-sign this. Y'all won't be scarred.
And no PTSD. You won't be mad at me. This is like a real slideshow.
Because after being scarred so many times, I actually review them now before I learned my lesson, so I can warn y'all in advance.
It's about damn time. It took you long enough to learn the lesson.
I try to give you the benefit of the doubt, though. That's the thing. Hey, y'all.
Okay, so this asked. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to see it. Where can we find which bourbon? Which one Diz? Are we talking about Tom Bullock or are we talking about Bro Brothers? Bro Brothers. Okay, you are going to have to check your local liquor store. I would advise calling ahead to your local liquor store because I live in Atlanta, which is a pretty black city, but I have challenges here sometimes finding things. I will also tell you a lot of your really good liquor stores will order for you. They will have, kind of the most well-known black brands. Just about everybody's going to carry Uncle Nearest. But when you get into other brands, a lot of times you're going to have to ask questions. Of course, if you live in Kentucky or if you're close to the Kentucky line, if you live in Ohio, like if you're in Cleveland or Cincinnati, you can just cross the line and go on over there and probably find a whole bunch of stuff. And there are times that I really do wish I lived in Kentucky. However, Kentucky gets very cold in the winter, which is great for whiskey, but is not great for Lisa. So therefore, Lisa Angela Davis will not be moving to Kentucky for that reason. But man, there are times that I really, really wish that I did live a lot closer. But of course, I made several trips to Tennessee and to Kentucky and picked up some stuff and brought it back. So, yes. And thank you, London, for highlighting that and letting me know. So, we're now going to get into our marked safe slideshow. Marked safe by Lock and by me, I promise. Because there's actually some historical content in this slideshow. So, Lock, let's roll our slideshow, please. Okay, so here we go. We're starting off with Tom Bullock, which is also my shot today. That's what I started off with. So I wanted to start off with Tom Bullock, and you see that lovely picture of him and this is his book. And I have a reproduction of the book. It's called The Ideal Bartender. It was published in 1917. Bullock was the first African American to publish a cocktail book. And his was one of the last drink collections released before the United States banned alcohol sales during Prohibition. Prohibition was between 1920 and 1933. He learned his bartending skills at the Pendennis Club, which was a very elite private club in Louisville. He started there working as a bellboy. And the Pendennis Club was founded in 1881 and it's still in existence today. Of course, it has moved and been updated. He left Louisville to work in a railroad car bar, and then he lived in Cincinnati with his brother, and then he moved to Chicago. But eventually he settled in St. Louis, where he lived with his widowed mother and tended bar at the exclusive St. Louis Country Club. Now, it's a big deal, of course, for him as a black man to write a cocktail book, to publish a cocktail book. But also it's a big deal to be a bartender then. Because if you think about in the South, having black people in service industries was kind of common to a certain degree. But to be a bartender, you had to be very well spoken because, of course, you were talking to patrons of all races, all backgrounds. So that was considered to be an elite position to be a bartender, not to mention the amount of knowledge he had to possess in terms of making drinks. And that's still true today for all bartenders because we can ask Mac, who is currently in bartending school, the amount of drinks that he has to remember in order to be proficient at bartending. So, of course, right next to it, I did put a picture of the current Tom Bullock site. That is a shaker set that they sell. Hey, LaShawn. And I love how they kind of updated the picture of him. The website is great. I have gone through the website before on this stream, and I really, really like how the website is very sleek and easy to read. And there's some additional information on there. So please make sure you check it out. I try to put all of your resources in Stream Elements. So Stream Elements is long today. It's like 2 paragraphs worth of stuff, but I wanted you all to have it. I wanted you all to have the information. It's there. Next. So this is some more information on Bullock. So the first picture you see where it says Eat, Explore, Experience, that is actually a mural that is in Louisville. It is painted on the side of a restaurant called Sway. The restaurant is excellent. I have been to the restaurant before and I love that depiction of Tom Bullock there, and it has some facts underneath it. So if you ever visit, you want to make sure that you visit Sway Restaurant and take some pictures in front of Tom Bullock. And of course, there's the picture of the Tom Bullock's Burnt Orange Bourbon, which I have right here next to me, which is now empty. Next. So this is Bertie Brown. So let me tell you a little bit about Bertie. Now, her name was Bertie, Bertie, but she was known to her friends as Bertie with a D. So that's the reason why you will see some differences on the bottles. Some of them say Bertie, some of them say Bertie, but we'll get to that. But she came to Montana in 1998 from Missouri. She was still in her 20s. She was one of very few young African-American women who homesteaded alone in Montana. And that is a picture of her homestead. That's a current picture. And I know it looks bad, but come on, she came in 1898 and it's still standing. It's actually still standing. Of course, it's vacated and dilapidated, but it's still there as a monument to her. But during Prohibition, Birdie carved out a niche for herself with her still and her parlor to host guests. She was famous for her warm hospitality, her legendary parlor for brewing what locals called the best moonshine in the country. Her moonshine was also deemed safe, which is a really big deal for moonshine, because think about moonshine as being made in somebody's backyard. And they're putting all types of stuff in there. There's no regulations. Nobody's proofing it. Nobody's, regulating it in any form or fashion. So hers was deemed safe because a lot of people with moonshine make things. People would go blind. They would get sick. They would die. Anything could happen. So for her, moonshine to be deemed safe was a big deal. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, depends on how you look at it, she went out doing what she loved. Because one day in 1933, just before Prohibition ended, a revenue officer came around and warned her to stop distilling. She was multitasking, dry cleaning with gasoline and tending to her last batch of hooch, and fumes from that caused a fire, the gasoline ignited, and her kitchen exploded. So unfortunately, she was tragically burned and she died shortly after. She has some items named after her, though, to carry on her legacy. Next slide. Okay, we think we're going to the next slide. There we go. So the first item, again, you see it says Birdie with a D, Birdie's Brown. That is her plain hooch, which is an unaged whiskey distilled from oats with wheat, barley, and is designed for smooth sipping. And then you have Birdie Brown's straight wheat whiskey, which is a barrel-aged whiskey made in Montana from Montana-grown wheat, aged for at least 3 years to develop a balanced, slightly sweet flavor. Next to that, you have Birdie's with a T, but same person, Bear Gulch whiskey, which honors her life and work and is available in California, Texas, Colorado, Louisiana, Montana, and Michigan. So you remember I was telling you about Tom Bullock and I said there were some other things on that website? The same company produces Birdie Brown. So if you go to the Tom Bullock website, there's a tab that you can click on for Birdie Brown. Okay, so London asked me something and said, can I say something? Okay, can I save the empty bottle of Bullock? I will be saving the empty bottle of Bullock. Thank you, Lot. Yeah, we got some obstructions, so it's because of the slideshow and stuff. So I'm trying to see everything. Yes, the bottle is gorgeous. I think the bottle is beautiful. And again, their website is really sleek. I like that. And I like the Birdie Brown bottle as well. So you can definitely go and check those out. Next. So the video that we watched talked about these gentlemen, the Bro Brothers Distillery. They are Kentucky's first Black-owned distillery founded by the brothers Victor, Bryson, and Christian Yarbrough in Louisville's Park Hill neighborhood. It was established in December 2020. And one of the big things that the distillery does is it wants to revitalize the community because Park Hill is not the greatest of neighborhoods. It is a neighborhood that they grew up in, and it was very important for them to give back to the community by creating jobs and offering a welcoming space for both locals and visitors. So if you happen to be able to get Bro Brothers, grab a bottle, support Kentucky's first Black-owned distillery. Next. London asked Reddy Bot, could they send some Birdie liquor? What did Ready Bot say? Sure thing. Grabbing a bottle of that birdie liquor for you. I love it. Yes, please utilize Ready Bot. That's like our googly on the stream. I added that last week, and Ready Bot knows a whole bunch of stuff, and all you have to do is ask. So the next thing that I wanted to highlight was this individual. Her name is Vanessa Braxton. And you can see that she is officially proclaimed the first Black female master distiller by New York legislature. And that, of course, that's huge. That is a huge thing. She is the only Black woman in the country who 100% owns her own distillery, manufacturing facility, and 15-acre farm grow house. Her brand is called Black Mama Vodka. So look for that in your stores. It was launched in 2013 on the West Coast with a co-distiller. But now it is 100% owned by Vanessa Braxton. Next. Hey, Lakita, how you doing? So we get to Nearest Green. You all heard in the video, they did point out that this gentleman in the picture, that is not Nearest Green. And I know a lot of times it's, misconception that people think it is. But this is actually George Green, who was the son of Nearest Green. So, of course, the story of Nathan Nearest Green spawned the birth of Nearest Green Whiskey, which was founded in 2017. He was the first African-American master distiller in the United States. Around the age of 7 or 8, Jack Daniels was orphaned, and he came to the farm and property of Dan Call. Dan was a preacher and a distiller in Lynchburg, Tennessee. He recognized Daniel's interest in distilling and introduced him to Green, who he referred to as the best whiskey maker that I know of. And Green was tasked with teaching Daniel the intricacies of whiskey distillation, including the now famous Lincoln County process. So the Lincoln County process is about filtering whiskey through charcoal before aging. Now, it's called the Lincoln County process after the county, but a lot of people say it should be called the Nearest Green process. Now, why this was a big deal is because a lot of people say that the method that he taught was believed to have roots in West African practices of water purification. But despite his significant contributions, he was largely unrecognized for over 150 years. He was overshadowed by the fame of Jack Daniel. Hey, Amber, how you doing? But of course, 2017, Fawn Weaver and her husband uncovered the story and brought it to light. And now we have Uncle Nearest in several iterations. I have been to the distillery. I have taken the tour. It is well worth the time, the money, the effort to go. Also, I love the fact that now Jack Daniels actually has this photo on their wall, and they do recognize and tell the story of Nearest Green. Next. This gentleman right here, this is Freddie Johnson. Don't he look happy? Oh, Freddie just looked happy in that picture to me. I love it. But Freddie Johnson is a globally recognized ambassador for Buffalo Trace Distillery. He brings more than 2 decades of storytelling, whiskey expertise, and authentic hospitality to audiences around the world. He is a 3rd-generation member of the Johnson family at Buffalo Trace. In 2018, he was inducted into the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame, and in 2024, the Whiskey Magazine Hall of Fame, which is a true testament to his influence on the whiskey world. We do have a video that contains him that we will see a little bit later. Hey, Big Stove, how you doing today? And of course, that is a bottle of Buffalo Trace. And just a side note, that is Vader's favorite bourbon, Buffalo Trace, or one of his favorites. Next. So if you all remember when I did Women's History Month, I talked about this woman. This is Elmer Lucille Allen. Her name is Elmer because she is named after her father. And she was born in August 1931. You heard that. She's still alive. August 1931. She worked as a chemist for Brown-Forman, and Brown-Forman is one of the largest producers of liquor in the Kentucky area in April of 1966. And this was during the time where, first of all, there were very few women in the workplace, and most of the ones that were there were in secretarial roles, and definitely very few African American women. She analyzed whiskeys and raw materials, corn, rye, and malt. And she worked at Brown-Forman for 31 years. Hey, Faye, before she retired in 1997. She rose from junior to senior chemist along the way. And before she retired, she had already started another path, which was art. And she is still an artist, and she actually has a master's degree in art and textiles. So this woman had a whole career and then started a whole nother career and is still going strong. And to me, if that's not testament to you can do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it, nothing is. Next. So I wanted to talk to this in particular. This woman, who I just learned about a couple of days ago when I really started getting into my research for this. Her name is Tiffany Berrier, and her moniker is the Drinking Coach. That's her website, the Drinking Coach. She's a mixologist and creative. So she's the bartender's bartender. She's an influencer, an educator with a passion for hospitality. She's been awarded with some of the beverage industry's highest honors, the Bar Smarts, the Bar 5 graduate. All of those are awards that she's received. She spent 7 years as a beverage director of One Flew South, which was named the best airport bar in the world, not in the United States, but in the world. She hosts mixology classes. She connects with a lot of culinary giants. She does all sorts of things, and it's all about education and experimentation. So for the people who are out there, they're like, okay, I bartend and, maybe I'm just getting started on this. Here you go. You got Tiffany as some inspiration to what can come next. Cruz says she's going to need me to strain something. Okay. So that's the slideshow. So listen, y'all, wasn't that a good slideshow? I don't have PTSD over that, right? Okay, let us say I like all the colors in the picture, right? Okay. So, of course, I have some more videos that we're going to look at, but I wanted to bring those people to your attention. And I wanted to show you the book. This is the book. This is The Ideal Bartender. This is Tom Bullock's book. This is a reprint from 1917. Again, a lot of the recipes that we currently use are in this book. And of course, there are some older recipes and you're like, people don't really drink that anymore. But they have, I turn right to the page, old-fashioned cocktail. They have a lot of different things. So just to kind of show you what the inside of the book looks like. It's very basic, but it has all of the recipes in it. So this is still a very valid, good book to own. All right, thank you. So you can see all of the different all of the different recipes in the book. I ordered this off of eBay. I did look for it on Amazon. I couldn't find it, but I did order it off of eBay because I thought this is important for me just to have in my collection. So some of the drinks I see in here, they have something called a black cow, and it says 3 jiggers of cream, 1 bottle of sarsaparilla, stir well, and serve with straws. I'm like, okay, sarsaparilla. That just sounds really interesting to me. Don't really know what sarsaparilla is, but okay. They have something called the Bishop. It's 1 teaspoonful of bar sugar, 2 dashes of lime juice, filled with shaved ice, seltzer water, Jamaica rum, and then fill it up, shake, and then it says ornament. So I guess it's like our garnishes with fruit and serve with straws. Hey, Ajoy, how you doing? So those are just a couple of the drink recipes that are inside of here, but it has a wealth of information. And again, I feel like just to own this is a great thing. And again, shout out to Tom Bullock for this. So I'm going to be tasting some stuff. Yeah. And guess what, you all? I'm not just tasting whiskey today. I'm actually going to be tasting some black and brown wines. I have 2 of them that I'm going to be tasting. But what I did with the liquor, the whiskey, is I have some lists. I have some resources that I'm going to share with you all. But I wanted to try something that I had never tried before. And I'm going to tell you all that it was quite the feat. Because again, even though I live here in Atlanta, my choices were somewhat limited. But, okay, so Decca was telling us about sarsaparilla. Yeah, I actually have heard that it's a lot like root beer. I've just never had sarsaparilla. Yes, it's a lot like root beer. I have heard that. Yeah. And actually, Reddy Bot probably knows too. But thank you, Decca. Thank you, Decca, for telling us. I appreciate it. But yeah, so I wanted to try something I had not tried. So I chose something called Den of Thieves Chocolate Flavored Whiskey. And shout out to Locke for picking this up for me from Prohibition Liquor. So Prohibition Liquor here in Symrna specifically, but the Atlanta area, is a Black-owned liquor store. Hey, Miss P. Smitty. So, of course, they have a lot of the Black brands. So this is chocolate flavored whiskey. And I am really excited to try this. I've heard of Den of Thieves, but I have never tried it before. They have many different iterations, and I'm going to talk about those iterations. I got a lot of paper that I got to shuffle through, so y'all pardon that. It's 80 proof, comes out of New Mexico, and it's created by Jason Armstrong in 2018. But in 2019, he revamped it because he didn't like the flavors. It comes in 4 flavors: chocolate. They have a 5-year bourbon, an 8-year bourbon, and then one called ginger vanilla. As he was getting ready to, go into the distillation business and get set up and, produce his product, he found out that his family had a history of bootlegging. His maternal grandfather, who he never met, was a bootlegger in Georgia. The reason why, hey, D-Man, yep, you got Foxy Brown whiskey woman. The reason why he calls it Den of Thieves is because he grew up in Brooklyn in the 80s and 90s, and he talks about how the drug dealers always looked out for him, always made sure that he was going to school, that he made it to school safely. And he said it just reminded him that they had kind of an unspoken code. And you do hear the term honor among thieves. It's also a nod to the Marvel comic, The Thieves Guild. So if you are a comic fan and you know about the Thieves Guild, then you understand why he used this. So I'm going to be tasting this today. Again, 80 proof, chocolate flavored whiskey. It says it's aged 5 years, bottled and distilled by Aztec Spirits in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So I'm anxious to try this. So I am using a glass, a really special glass today. And can we show the people that glass? You see it says BB and it has an S and a circle around it. That is from the Black Bourbon Society. That is one of your resources. There is a Black Bourbon Society. So this is what it looks like. The inside. So you see that? Stop talking. So you won't just see my mouth. But this is because I used to be part of the Black Bourbon Society. Now, why am I still not a part of it? Because I joined another bourbon society. I joined the Women's Bourbon Society. And trust when I tell you there are a lot of clubs, organizations, things that you can be a part of. And it's kind of like apps and subs on Twitch. If you're not careful, you'll be part of a whole bunch of things, spending a whole bunch of money. So I had to make some choices. Okay? That's the choice that I made. So I was part of the Black Bourbon Society for several years, and then I switched my membership to the Bourbon Women's Society. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I already like it. Did y'all hear that gurgle? It's got a plastic cork on it, which is fine because, again, that's very economical. This was $42 per bottle, again, at Prohibition Liquor. So I'm going to be smelling this and seeing what I think about it. I definitely get the chocolate right away. Hey, Lil Unique. I get the chocolate right off. And it's not like a milk chocolate smell. It's more like baking chocolate is how I would describe it. And it's very light and pleasant. That's how I would describe it. So let's taste it. Let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, y'all. That gets the hell yeah, y'all. That was good. Excellent. This is really good. I wasn't sure about chocolate. I wasn't sure. Now, I've had flavored whiskeys before. You know, I've tried them on the show with you all. I've even had a chocolate flavored whiskey before. This is one of the best ones that I've had. I have to say that. This is really, really good. So Den of Thieves chocolate flavored whiskey. This is a yes. This is a hell yes. I really like this. So if you can find it, get it. Get it. Okay. So yes to Den of Thieves. All right. So I'm liking that. Whew, yeah. And I haven't even mixed this with anything. And they have some great recipes on their website. I did go to the website and check it out. They do have some recipes there. I'm trying to think of other words to describe it besides good and chocolatey. But I would say very smooth. I don't get a strong bite of alcohol with it. It seems like it would be a great sipper just on its own, but I could also imagine it mixed into a drink, perhaps with something that has like a cream base to it. Maybe even switching it up with like some vanilla flavored vodka. And I know y'all would be shocked to hear me say that, but I could see this would layer really, really well. This is good. Tony the Tiger. Yep. I like it. I like this a lot. So now I'm interested in the other flavors because I told you they have a ginger vanilla. Very much interested in that. By the way, if you do happen to know that you have a Black-owned liquor store, please patronize it. Please do that because we have to support our own businesses. We have to support our own brands. I'm not sure how long Prohibition has been around, but they have been around for a while. And, you know, good customer service there. They have a marketing list that you can get on, right? So there's a lot of perks to being part of it. So make sure that you support that. So yes, Den of Thieves, you get a good review from me. All right. So I'm going to be tasting 2 additional things tonight, which actually are in the wine family. I'm going to be tasting a Prosecco and I'm going to be tasting a Chardonnay that are both produced by Black-owned wine producers. But before we do that, we've got a video to watch. So let's roll tape on our video.
Black History Month is a time to look back and remember.
And tonight we celebrate the contributions made by African Americans to Kentucky's bourbon industry.
LEX 18's Claire Kopsky spoke to a group with a mission to make sure those stories are not forgotten.
Basically, that entire history was all wiped out, with Jim Crow.
He's talking about the history of African Americans in the bourbon industry.
You'll see that the front line picture is always a lot of white men in suits and ties, but if you look behind them, there's nothing but African American men in overalls who were actually doing the work of the distillery. Nobody really knows what happened back then, and so now you're starting to see, like, bourbon historians will tell you, is like, if you go into the archives, you're starting to uncover all these things, and some of these brands don't even know they even had some of the stuff.
In the history books, brands are missing as well as people.
You think of like the old fashioned traditionally, like Tom Bullock, who's an African American bartender, technically created the old fashioned. The homegrown story is really, Freddie Johnson has really been the crutch of a lot of the African American bourbon history here within Kentucky, because he is a third generation distillery worker. Both his father and his grandfather worked at Buffalo Trace and were very influential in helping products move along.
Borden, along with more than 100 members of the Kentucky Black Bourbon Guild, are working every day to ensure these stories are told. They're also focused on educating their members about the industry and the spirits themselves, as well as inspiring the next generation.
Now it's like, how do we create more Freddie Johnsons and tour guides? But then in addition, how do we create more chemists and more scientists that can actually go in and help actually make the whiskey? Because if you go in there on the back end of the products and how they're actually made in distillery workers, like it's a very white culture. And it's like, how do we infuse, more African Americans, more Hispanic Americans? How do we also get more women involved in the bourbon industry?
With new distilleries owned by African Americans opening in Kentucky this year, the Guild sees progress and says they'll continue to educate their community one sip at a time. In Lexington, Claire Kopsky, LEX 18 News.
Okay, so a little bit of information there for you all. And so the Kentucky Black Bourbon Guild was founded by Robert Beatty, and you did see the photo of him at the end with the beard, in 2018 to preserve, educate, honor, and elevate minorities' involvement in bourbon. I just found out about this organization probably about 2 months ago. And the reason why I'm sharing with you that I just found out about it 2 months ago is because even though you could say I'm entrenched in this Blackity black liquor brown whiskey woman thing, there's still a lot to learn. There's still so much to find out and explore. And that excites me. That excites me that there's always something new that I'm learning or able to learn. So I absolutely love that. But they have a great website. Again, that's in your resources. So I do encourage you to go to their website. They have over 250 members at this time, probably upwards of 300 now. But of course, they started with a very small group of people who were bourbon enthusiasts. And then they came together to form this. They do a lot of really cool things. So if you live in Kentucky, they do tours, they do bottle shares, they have tastings, they have all sorts of things that they offer. So make sure you check it out. And of course, this is another organization that you can join. So make sure that you're looking into that. So I told you I was going to taste some wine today, right? How about that? So the wine that I'm going to taste is called House of Brown. I went into Green's Liquor Store here on Ponce de Leon Avenue, which is right next to the Claremont. Just for point of reference for all of the people in Atlanta. But I went to Green's and I spoke to a woman there who assisted me with this. But this is called House of Brown. This is Chardonnay. This is, the date on it is 2022. So Dr. Bassett and Marcella Brown and their children founded Napa's first Black-owned estate distiller. It's 100% family-owned, Black-owned, and women-led. First vintage wine was released in 1996, but their label, and that's the House of Brown, but the label of Brown began in 1980. So I am going to be tasting this. can we look at this imagery on the front of the bottle, because I love the imagery on it. So when I researched this particular product, it said the imagery really represented being seen. And I thought this was definitely indicative of that, because I just love kind of the dual face, the shadowing. But it said it was representing how often as women we are unseen, and certainly as Black women we are unseen. So I really love this. And of course, with the flowers and the fruit, they made it beautiful. So I really, really love the way the bottle looked. And again, this is House of Brown. On the top of it, it says welcome, which I really liked as well. I just like all of the little touches that they put on it to make it beautiful. So on the bottle, it says, crisp and clean, our Chardonnay showcases notes of guava, gooseberry, lemon verbena, and a touch of tropical fruit. So we're going to find out. This is actually 13.5 alcohol by volume. It's not bad for a wine. So let's taste it and see what it tastes like. Got a nice gurgle on it. Let's see. I see you blind in one eye. I can't see with the other. All right. So, you know, people swirl wine. I don't know that much about wine, but people swirl wine and stuff like that and sniff it and taste it, I guess. So anyway, cheers, y'all. This is good. This also gets the hell yeah. Very light, very smooth. I found sometimes with Chardonnays can have like a sharpness to them, to me, that I don't care for. And this does not. Doesn't have that at all. Very smooth, nice sipper. Great for brunch, I would say. Chardonnay is the type of grape. That is the reason why it's called Chardonnay. Great anytime. Like, I could see myself drinking a bottle of this. Probably in one setting. Not gonna lie. And it wasn't a bad price. This was about $15. Yeah, it was about $15. And of course, that depends on where you live. It might be a little bit more, might be a little bit less. But this is a good pick. Very good pick. And again, you are supporting your folks when you purchase this, okay? So that is super important. So yes, so far we are on it, right? We are on it today. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about some distinctions before I taste my next item. And I mentioned Prohibition Liquor because they actually originally posted this information, and I want to share it with you all. Now, when I say what I'm about to say, because I'm about to say it, this is for clarity, not criticism. So don't come at me. Okay, don't come at me. This is clarity, not criticism. There is a difference between Black-owned and celebrity-endorsed. Okay? So Black ownership and ownership of anything is 51% plus. That means you own 51% plus. You have joint ventures. You have overlap between something can be celebrity endorsed and celebrity owned. You have brand ownership, and then you have marketing influence. And this is just something I want to educate all of us on. So Black owned means majority ownership and control. So think 51%. Black founded is created by a Black entrepreneur. Black led means Black executive leadership. Black partnered. You know what a partnership is, right? That's partial Ownership. Ask questions. Research. Make informed decisions. And again, shout out to Prohibition Liquor for posting this information on IG. If you are not following them on IG, make sure that you do, even if you do not live in Atlanta, because they are a wealth of information. Now, I am not telling you to not buy something that is celebrity endorsed. So, for instance, we have Virginia Black, right, which is an American whiskey from Drake. It is a joint venture. We have Sir Davis between Beyonce and Hennessy. Those are joint ventures. Now, I'm going to tell you that when you Google and you look up information, they are not going to show you the percentiles, or they're going to be very hard to find. I'm not telling you don't buy those products. I'm just telling you to be educated about what it is that you're drinking and who you're supporting. That is what I am going to say. Right. And D-Man raised a good point. He said minority owned doesn't mean Black owned, because we are not the only minority. Believe it or not, right? It's not just us. So that's also a good point. So do some research. Find out some information. And again, not saying you should not support those. If you like Sir Davis, go out and buy some Sir Davis. It's about $90 a bottle, I think. So go ahead and support that. If you like Drake and you want to support, go ahead and do those things. I just want you all to be very well aware of what it means and to do a little bit of research. So speaking of celebrity endorsements, I am also going to try a Prosecco that I knew of, but I found in the liquor store. It was about $20. And the celebrity is Mary J. Blige. So this is called Sun Goddess Wines. It was launched in June of 2017. No, June 17, 2025. Damn, my dyslexia clicked in. June 17, 2025, with this is out of Italy, Fantanil Wineries. And she partnered with them to produce this. Okay. So we're going to taste it. Now, during dry January, I drank a lot of Prosecco. I did not drink any whiskey, but I did drink some wine, and I drank a lot of Prosecco. Someone said, does it come with a pair of boots that you can kick your leg in? No, it does not, but it is $20. They say she was very much involved with the production of it. It's got a nice bubbly pour to it, I'll say that. And the name Sun Goddess comes from her nickname as a child. Her sisters used to call her the Sun Goddess because she loved being out in the sun. If you go to the website, which I do have it going through Stream Elements, you will see a really good interview that she did talking about the making of Sun Goddess and the creation of it and just tasting all of the different things. So cheers, you all. We shall see. Y'all, the Black brands is coming through today. This is a hell yeah. This is a hell yeah. Now, Prosecco has to do with the grapes and also the region that it is produced in. So that's where the name comes from. So let me look at this bottle a little bit because I didn't look at it very much in the store, but I like it. I mean, I just like the way it looks. It says Prosecco Brut, product of Italy, Vino Spumante, sparkling wine brut. Has a stamp, information on the back, a number information. And it says imported by Volio Imports out of Seattle, Washington. So that's who they import through. So yeah, I like it. I would buy it. I would pick it over other Prosecco brands. And the reason why I say that is because, of course, if we can buy and support our own folks, that's what we need to do. So ask questions. Now, they said I'm about to start doing a kick since I drank it. Y'all can't see my legs, but they moving. I kicked, right? I ain't got on no boots though. But yeah, this is some good stuff. I would definitely choose it. recently, or during my dry January, I found, and I think on my Christmas show I talked about it as well, a Prosecco called Luna that I really, really liked. It was very good. I like that. I would buy that. I would look for that over my Luna. So all of the black products that I tried today, they were yeses. They were yeses. So be willing to make the extra effort to look for them. Hey, Team No Pants, how you doing? That's the main thing. So I debated whether or not I was going to share a story with you all today. And I am going to share the story. I'm just going to redact some names out of the story. So I told you all I live, of course, here in Atlanta, and I had some challenges with finding some black brands. So I went to one particular big name liquor store here in Atlanta that I frequent because they have a large variety of items. And thank you for the gift sub. I go to this place because they have a lot of stuff to choose from. And there was one particular item that I was looking for a future show. So I go into the establishment and I am looking on the shelves and I have a list of black brands that I'm interested in trying. Things that I haven't tried before. Den of Thieves was on the list and some others. So I scan the shelves. I don't see what I'm looking for. So I go to the manager and I tell him what I'm looking for. And I said, I have like this list of items. May I read them to you? Will you check your inventory and see if you have them? So he checked the inventory. He didn't have any of them. So he says, well, what do those things have in common? And I said, what they have in common is that they're all black brands. And he said, well, we got Uncle Nearest on the shelf. And I said, that's great. But I'm not looking for Uncle Nearest. I'm looking for the ones that I named. And that really irritated me. And he said, well, I mean, okay. And then he proceeded to look into my basket to see if I had purchased anything, which I did, which was the one item I came for because I knew they had it and nobody else did. It was not a black brand. It's for a future show. And I did not buy anything else because I was highly irritated and I did not like that. So I then proceeded to tell him that I was an executive bourbon steward, and he did a 180. He got up from behind that desk. He's following me around the store. Oh, is there something else I can help you with? Is there something else you need? No, there's not anything else I need. You can't help me. I already asked you about these black brands. Then he offered to, I could order it for you. No, I'm in there on a Monday. I need it on Thursday. So needless to say, this large liquor store probably won't be getting much of Lisa's business unless I can't find it any place else. Simon said London would call him a motherfucker. Yeah, we vote with our dollars. And I will say he was a white male. I will tell you that. I'll say that. But I'll leave the name of the place out of it. But yeah. I was not happy with that. So I went down the street, right up the street to Ponce de Leon, to Greens, which I will shout out. And it was like a totally different experience. Everybody there was very helpful. And even though they didn't have the brands that I was looking for, the woman there directed me to the wine. That's how I wound up with the House of Brown and with the Sun Goddess. So it was totally different customer service experiences. So Stowe said, right? Like we can, look, my mother says all the time, money is green and credit cards are square. That's her saying, right? You can take them anywhere. Anybody will take your money. So he got the money on that one bottle of liquor. He had the potential for other things. So, Amber, I'm going to just keep saying your name. Amber? Amber, we shall talk, okay? So, yeah. Yes. So we can take our money anywhere. And my thing is, I never go into the liquor store and lead with, I'm an executive bourbon steward, because that doesn't matter. Customer service is customer service. So why do I have to say that in order for you to give me any type of extra attention? That's not necessary. I gave you a list of things. You didn't have those things. And you tell me about Uncle Nearest, and I told him I'm well aware of Uncle Nearest, and it's no shade to Uncle Nearest. Uncle Nearest put a lot of black whiskey on the map. It made people start paying attention to other brands, and I absolutely love and appreciate that. But I'm like, don't you think I saw that on the shelf? Because when I went over there, I told him I looked at everything on the shelf, but I did not find what I was looking for, so I wanted to ask you about these items. And that was the reception I got. So I got my one bottle, paid for it, and I got the hell on and took my money down the street to Greens, where they treated me wonderfully. I mean, the security guard was like, what do you need? He worked security at Greens. And he was like, what do you need? I can help you find it. I was like, thank you, bro. I appreciate it. So, yes, that's my vent. That's my story, I guess. And I debated whether I wanted to say it, but I said it. So, yes. So, we do have some resource lists, and I want to go over a couple. I have a lot of things in Stream Elements again. It's like 2 or 3 paragraphs. But I want to look at one of the lists. Let's look at list number 3. Item number 3, I should say. Let's take a look at this list that has a bunch of resources on it for you. This is out from whiskeyadvocate.com, which is a fantastic magazine. But let's just scroll down. It has Black-owned whiskey distilleries and companies, and they have them broken down by the states. So you got California, Shadow Ridge Spirits. In Colorado, you have, I'm not going to read all of them. But anyway, you got a bunch of them, okay? Rising Sun. But Delaware, we have Georgia, Greenwood, which is one of my favorite black whiskeys. We have Majesty Bourbon. Hey, Blue Majesty, by the way. I saw that you came in earlier and I didn't say hello. Wild Creek Distillery. And then in Kentucky, of course, I know it's, a few there. We talked about the Bro Brothers. Fresh Bourbon, St. Cloud's, whole bunch of stuff. Indiana, we've got some distillers there. So again, if you live in these areas, please ask questions. If they offer to order it for you, have them order it for you, because that lets them know that there's a need, there's a desire for it, and perhaps they can begin to stock it. And you see, it doesn't have every state, but it has quite a few states on it. So again, this is whiskeyadvocate.com. They have a really good comprehensive list, so you can take a look at it. Also, go to the websites of these different distillers and see if they will ship to you. Everybody doesn't ship everywhere, but you can also inquire. You always can inquire. All right. And then we have another list. Let's take a look at it. List number 4. So this is really interesting because it says the complete list of black-owned whiskey. But this site is called allamericanwhiskey.com. If you read down, it says, hang on. Aren't you just 2 white guys? 2 white guys actually run this website. But they said, hey, yes, we are, but we're also they were so white, they were transparent. That's what they put on there. They said, so what business do we have writing this list? They said nobody had done it right. So they decided that they wanted to do it. So this is a listing of black-owned whiskeys. And then what's really cool is when you click on them, it gives you some information. So let's click on a couple. So of course it says Uncle Nearest, Tennessee Whiskey. Let's go to Fresh Bourbon. So click on Fresh Bourbon. Then when it says click here, it takes you to Fresh Bourbon website. Let's scroll down. That is a Black brand husband and wife team. And they're giving us a little pop-up, but scroll down a little bit and let's just take a look. Okay. And of course, they have some photos for you. Again, that's the husband and wife team. And it has some recipes, different things that you can look at. So this is a very great comprehensive list. Let's go back and take a look at another one. Let's scroll down and let us look at, keep going. Let's look at guidance. Guidance is something that I have talked about on the show. And actually, Malik Stone is a person who turned me on to that. It's a small batch whiskey coming out of Nashville. Let's click on it. And it takes you to their website. So you can get a really good feel for what's out there, what might be in your area. Again, ask questions. It just takes a little bit of digging and research. And I did some of the digging and research for you this past week. And they have a really nice website. I like a clean, sleek looking website with not like a whole bunch of verbiage, but just nice pictures. This looks really, really good. I like it. And then you see they have information about the founder, where you can buy it. Now, I will tell you, this one I recall, and London recalls as well. London had to bring me this from Illinois, from Chicago, because I could not find it here. So she did purchase 2 bottles for me. I gave one to Malik, and I kept the other. And this is one of his favorite whiskeys. And it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It didn't get the hell yeah from me, but it got a pretty decent rating. All right, let's go back. Okay, so C Love said Duke and Dame is one of her favorites. Now we already know, okay, so we did try Duke and Dame before. So they don't have the proper link. They have to update some of the links. But I've not tried Duke and Dame, C Love, so I will definitely be looking for that. Maybe Prohibition has that. Maybe that's something I should check out with Prohibition. But let's go down to Abisola with a woman holding up the drink. There we go. Let's click on the woman. And it's a blended whiskey. And if you all recall, I also tried the rum from Abisola, which was really good. So what's going on with Abisola? Click on it. There we go. There's their website. And it says, changing the way you think about whiskey. And again, I like the way their website looks. So they have several products. And I remember this one. Abisola was okay to me. I remember that. I think that was another pick by Malik Stone, now that I think about it. Yeah, it was another one. So I don't know, maybe Malik and I have different tastes in whiskey. I'm kind of beginning to see a theme here that's working. But that is their website. Again, these are products that you can find in your local areas, or you can at least inquire about, or go to the websites and see if they will ship to you. So this is the thing. We have choices, right? We can pick, choose, and refuse. So let us please begin to be a lot more conscious about who we're supporting, who we're giving our dollars to with everything. But when we talk about liquor, we're talking about something that is often high end, right? Depending on the cost of it. And this is a luxury item, right? Because you don't need liquor, right? We need to drink water every day, but we don't need to drink any type of whiskey or liquor. And we shouldn't anyway, not every day. But this is a luxury item. So let's be very conscious about where we're spending our dollars. Okay, that's super important. Let's go back. Okay, and let's just choose one more. And I'm thinking, let's go to Red Hazel, because actually Red Hazel is one that I really like. Have some of that. Actually, some of that is upstairs. And it is a brother and sister team that I actually met at Whiskies of the World. So let's see if we can get their website up. There we go. Okay, so they have a spiced whiskey that is excellent. Again, I've had it on the show. You know, a lot of my liquor is housed here at Locke's house, and it is upstairs. So this is really good. And I met them in person. Lovely people, lovely brother and sister team. And they were one of the few Black vendors at Whiskies of the World. And Whiskies of the World probably had about 200 vendors. And they were one of, I would say, maybe 4 Black vendors that were present. They were there and represented very well. And so when you scroll down, it does tell their story. So if you go to their website, you can see how they came up with the concept, and that is really cool. So again, you have options, you have choices, so support. All right. So those are some lists I wanted to show you all, but of course there are lots of lists out there, and all you have to do is Google Black-owned liquors, whiskey, vodka, tequila, whatever it is that you're looking for, wine, it's out there for you. You have the Black Bourbon Society. You have the Black Wine Club. There are lots of resources, but they do take some digging. Like a lot of times people say things are hidden in plain sight. Not when it came to this. I had to dig. I had to do some things. So please take some time and some effort and energy to try these things. So I do have one more video that I am going to show, but I want to show it at the very end. I do want to give some time and attention to some other administrative things. First of all, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to you all for being here and sitting through a little education today and something a little bit different, but trust that in March on the 12th, just before St. Patrick's Day, I will be back with the shenanigans. Okay? I will be back. I will be drinking some Irish whiskey in a different form, because if you all remember last year, I drank some Irish whiskey and that sucked. I did not like it. I do not like Irish whiskey. I do not like them Sam I Am. I do not like them in a box. I do not like them with a fox. I do not like them. I don't like Irish whiskey. But my son, who is completing bartending school officially on tomorrow, y'all give him some hearts and love and all of that good stuff. Tomorrow's his last day of school. Gave me a recipe for a Irish beer bomb, sidecar, something. I don't even know the name of it. Whatever it is, I am going to make it. But I know it involves Guinnesses and some Irish whiskey. And yeah, so I will be making it. Mac, what is it called? If you're in the chat, put what the name of the drink is. Irish car bomb. Thank you. See, I said sidecar bomb, whatever. Okay, I was all confused. But I will be making it. He did give me the recipe. I will be making that. And I'm going to try a different Irish whiskey. Do y'all remember when I tried that Sloan whiskey and how horrible it was? Like, I just had a flashback and it was bad. It was really bad. But I'm going to try some different stuff. Okay. So yes, Irish car bomb. That's what I'm going to be making. Again, I will have some shenanigans and some stuff for you. That might be the only thing that I drink when it comes to the Irish whiskey. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to have to figure out some other stuff for that show. I also want to give a special shout out to the people who supported the 6 City Ray Train. That occurred on the 20th of February, and 6 cities were represented by 6 different DJs. It was a great success. The DJs really enjoyed it. I hope the people that rode the train really enjoyed it. I did that in collaboration with my partner, D-Man. You know, like, I have all these things on the whiteboard in my mind. I pitched to him and he's like, good idea, Lisa, let's do it. So we did it. And a special shout out to D-Man, to London Michelle, and to DJ J Jonah for the graphics. D-Man created the logo for the overlay. London took that and created a flyer, and then DJ J. Jonah elevated it up to the next level with a lot of moving graphics and extra things that were added, and it was fantastic. So thank you to you all. Thank you for being part of the whiteboard of my mind and bringing things forward. Also, I want to mention exclamation point fresh. So we have the Fresh Radio Show coming up on the Fresh Day Party, sponsored by the Fresh Radio Show, on Saturday, the 22nd. And it's the second anniversary, and that's going to be a hell of a show. It's going to be a lineup. Locke is on the lineup, Fro, LV, Nick the Quick. I mean, it's gonna be a bunch of folks. Please, if you're in the Atlanta area, purchase a ticket, which is free. It ain't even a real purchase. It's free. All you got to do is reserve your space, okay? So check that out. I am a sponsor. Brown Whiskey Woman is a sponsor with them. I'm a very, very proud sponsor and so happy to be part of that. But make sure if you're in the area and you want to come hang out, check it out. You're going to see a lot of folks you know. Then I would like Locke to step in and tell us a little bit about the reunion and Soul Train, which is coming up in April. So please do so, sir.
Hi.
While I drink a little drink.
So the family reunion, Lock and Key Media family reunion, will be the weekend of April 23rd through the 26th. Yeah, that's it. No, no, we're gonna have probably maybe over 3 dozen DJs here DJing. This will be a DJ, very, very much a DJ centric event. I know last year we had some streamers, but we're gonna. I want to give them their own day later on. So I mean, Lisa and I talked about that. So we're definitely gonna try to do that later on this year, probably in the summer, probably after OMU. But this is gonna be over 30 DJs throughout the course of the weekend from all over. So looking forward. No, this is an event that Lisa and I both look forward to. This is something very near and dear to both of us for multiple reasons. And all proceeds for the weekend will be going to Spinning Autism. Also, that weekend is Soul Train Live. So the conclusion of the reunion will be at Soul Train Live. And we got a lot of DJs from all over the world coming through. Got a lot of commits, which I am like, wow, y'all actually coming? So this is going to be good. So shout out to DJ Volatile. Shout out to LV. This is going to be a very, very, very fun event. So, and a lot of time has been put into it, but this is going to be a very fun event. Get your tickets. As Lisa say, purchase your tickets. They're free. But go to djvolatile.com/RSVP or go to Soul Train Live ATL at Eventbrite. No, Soul Train Live ATL.eventbrite.com.
Yes.
Tickets are free, but please register because space is limited. So yeah. So this should be a grooving time, Jack.
Not a grooving time. Bet your last money it's all gonna be a Stone Gas.
Stone Gas.
I love it. So we got all of that coming up. We got all of that happening. Hey Nick, hey Neff, how you doing? My nephew Nick the Quick gonna be there on the ticket for the 22nd. Y'all gotta come. Nick gonna be doing some ATL booty shake. I just know.
And for the reunion.
Yes, and for the reunion, right? So there you go. See, he just gave y'all a little sneak peek, right? Because he doesn't tell you.
I don't tell y'all shit.
He don't tell y'all shit about who's gonna be on the ticket for the reunion. So he just told you one person who is gonna be there, right?
Because the one thing, the one person y'all ain't gonna see DJing is this guy.
I don't have anything to say to that. He knows we've had many conversations.
But,
okay.
but Lisa understands.
I do understand.
She understands, but she don't agree. But she definitely understands.
Yes, I understand because there's a lot of moving parts.
It's a lot of moving parts.
And can I just, I'm going to say this to you, like right here in front of all these peoples. Last year when I was a streamer on the ticket and then trying to do everything else,
you get it now. You get it now.
I have a greater appreciation for what you said.
Yeah.
Okay, about not being on the ticket.
It's a lot.
Because it's a lot.
It's a
I'm
lot.
upstairs, like I hold down the upstairs and Log holds down downstairs. And that's just kind of how our, dynamic works.
Shout out to Lisa's Angels.
Yes, I was gonna say I have volunteers. I had London last year. I had London and Lawanda and K Marie and Blue Majesty.
Anybody Paige Quentin,
and Psalmist.
yes.
I had Q. I had so much help. And there's
that down here in the basement, I had Ebony ATL was an amazing help. Oh my gosh. Years past Fudge.
Yes.
It's definitely a labor of love, but this is a lot.
Ooh, MLK, that's the only guy I see on the street. D-Man. D-Man. I hear a horse neighing. Just saying. But anyway. He knows what that means. So does C Love. So yes. So you got a sneak peek that Nick the Quick is going to be present for that. But he will be there on the 22nd along with Locke. Like I said, if you're in the area, come check us out. Make sure you get your ticket. That's super important for both events. So, again, we got stuff coming up, and I'm thrilled to be part of the Locke and Key family reunion again. So thank you, Locke, for allowing me to partner spinning autism with that.
Yeah, and just to put it back out there again, I know we stress this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The reunion is not
private,
open to the public.
It is private.
It is a private event.
It's a private event.
It is a private event. Unless you got an invitation directly from me.
And don't ask for an invite, damn it.
That is the quickest way to not get invited, is
That's
to
right.
ask.
When you ask, the answer is
no.
That is some fraganaga bullshit. That's the first thing we're going to say. And then we're going to say, after that, I don't have a hell no. But hell no.
Nah, don't.
That's what I'm going to say. I am the person upstairs. So when I come to the door and I'm looking out the window and I be like, I don't know this person.
And the main thing honestly is just being respectful and have decorum, man.
Please.
That's all. But seriously though.
Please.
This is a private event.
It's a
Please
private event.
respect it. There are other events that weekend that is open to the public that
Soul Train.
Soul Train Live. Fresh Day Party.
Fresh Day Party is going to happen on that Saturday.
That Friday, Block and Drum with another family reunion alumnus, DJ Roster Root. It's a lot of stuff going on. I know I can't say this because of Soul Train, but Wally Sparks is having his High Top Fade event that same weekend.
So come on.
It's Controllerized that Monday. It's a lot going on.
You see this? He giving y'all all the information. You can come, okay?
Come to Atlanta.
You just can't come to the reunion.
Just don't come to the reunion.
You are invited. Okay.
And we are limiting the invites for people that are not participants.
Okay. So keep that in mind. Then also, can I add this? Just because you came last year don't mean you coming this year. Don't mean you getting an invite this year. So don't get mad. Don't have no attitude. Don't have your ass on your shoulder because it really don't matter.
It's not personal.
It's not.
That's the thing. I tell everybody it's
hey,
not
Reboot.
personal.
Hey, Reboot is in here, y'all.
Reboot.
Listen, Reboot has an event coming up in March.
Yes.
Reboot, please put the information on how people can get tickets. Please take a minute and put that information in there because Reboot has an event. I know it's on March 21st. It's in collaboration with Vance and DJ Tiger.
Yes.
Right?
Shout out to Full Blast Radio.
Yes. Shout out to them. Please put that information there. Make sure that if you go to Reboot's website, okay, at least put the website in there. You can find event information and ticket information. And there we go. Rebootradio.com, right?
The Vets Club. So this is going to be, and again, it's somewhat like sort of kind of a day party too, because it starts at 2 and ends at midnight. Yeah,
but
it ends at 2 a.m. the next morning.
It's at midnight.
Midnight my ass. I could be going for a long time.
Listen, make sure. Support. I've been talking about supporting these black liquor brands, but let's support each other. Okay? And Locke and I say this all the time. It's a buffet. There's enough for everybody. Nobody has to elbow out anybody on their event. what they're doing. There's enough to go around for everybody. Everybody can be successful. We can all have a great time.
DJ RTX says it best. Collaboration over competition.
He does say it all the time. Collaboration over competition. No truer words have been spoken.
Truth.
It is truth. Right. Most definitely. So I want to give all of those. Also, you all know I have some commands. Exclamation point promo, which talks about London Michelle and our friend is Grafton. Of course, speaking of support with his City Nights vodka. So somebody please drop that in the chat. Anybody can do it. It's there. So if you need graphics, promotions, you need help with your social media, London Michelle is the person for you. Okay. She does my flyers and a lot of other people on Twitch's flyers as well. And she is fantastic. So please, please support her. It ain't free. This ain't no free ticket situation. Don't sign up. Just reach out or else you're going to get the London look. Right. So we have that. Then also my sister, my mod sister, exclamation point love. I think it's love, exclamation point love. But see, love has a business as well with some fantastic, very positive saying t-shirts and information. Please, please support her as well. And then lastly, again, for exclamation point fresh for the Fresh Day Party. All right. And hopefully I will see some of you all this weekend. I'm looking forward to that. Every month I do a special brown whiskey woman drink at the event. So I do have a special event and we are featuring Uncle Nearest on our tab this time because it is Blackity Black History Month. So we're going to support our Black brands. Okay. So I do have one more video and I think we can show that and then we can, I'll look around and to see who is on and where we might raid. But just to review everything that I talked about, I finished off the Bullocks Burnt Orange. Highly recommend this. This was so good. This was a good corner. I tell you, it was a little bit more than a corner because you see I still got a fair amount over there. It was a little more than I thought. But this is some good stuff, and it is worth it. Okay, thank you, D-Man. The drink is on my website, the Brown Whiskey Woman website. And I do think we took a look at that one time, but can we go there real quick and look at the Brown Whiskey Woman website? I am like super, super proud of that website. And y'all, guess who did that website for me? D-Man. D-Man did that website. So you can see I'm down with Brown. Talks about me as an executive bourbon steward. And when you scroll down, and this is just the top page, has my story, how I became an executive bourbon steward. And then it has the drink of the month for Fresh Day Party. And it says, have a sip. And that's what it's called, the Fresh Celebration, because we're celebrating 2 years. So I advise you all to go and check out my website and explore. You can contact me. You can book me for private events. But that be me, y'all. That be me. So I'm very proud of that. And thank you, D-Man, once again, for your great work on that. So again, in review, Den of Thieves chocolate flavored whiskey. This was excellent. Everything got a hell yeah. So I don't have to go through the ratings, but this was really good. $42 for this bottle. Very good. Then we had the House of Brown California Chardonnay. This was excellent as well. This was roughly about $15, I think, here. And then our Sun Goddess Prosecco, Mary J. Blige. This was about $20. And this was really good as well. Again, the Ideal Bartender book by Tom Bullock. This is a 1917 reprint. VintageCocktailBooks.com is what it says on the back of it. But I did get it on eBay. Okay. And then I didn't give you the price on the Tom Bullock. When I got this, I paid $60 for it. Now it was worth every penny. So You know, like some people might get $60, but I've had liquor that I paid way more for. I can just tell you that much. So to pay $60 for it was really good. And then don't forget, they also, the same person makes the Birdie Brown gin, also the hooch. So make sure you check that out. So everything was really, really good. I hope that you said that's 2 bottles of Crown. That's what Nick said. Yeah, it is. It is two bottles of Crown. But can I just tell you, the Diggs Boys, it's like $75 a bottle, but also worth every single penny. And again, I am going to say to you all, we spend our money on all variety of shit, right? Like we buy all types of things. And some of it, you know, it's like you buy it and you're like, okay, I bought that and now what? But if we're really going to support one another, let's pour into these black liquor brands. We have choices. Ask, look, do research, right? And think about, where am I spending my money? $75 for a good bottle of bourbon. Reboot can back me up on this one. That ain't bad at all, is it, Reboot? Because Reboot is a fellow bourbon drinker. That's really not bad at all, okay? Though it may sound like a lot of money, it's really, really not. And especially when you have people out there that are buying other brands by other people and they're paying that amount of money. Why not give it to a black brand? Why not support your own? The ancestors will be very pleased with you. I promise. Okay. So yes, so we have one more video and then I'll take a look at who's on. So let's roll tape on that. And I will say thank you all. I will see you on March 12th for St. Patrick's Day shenanigans. Thank you, Cruz, London, Natty, and Locke. And thank you, all of y'all. I appreciate you.
This is In the Loop. I'm Christian Bryant. You might want to pour yourself a glass of something special to pair with this segment. We're kicking things off by talking about something I know pretty well, whiskey. Both bourbon, a type of whiskey, and Tennessee whiskey can trace their origins to the 18th and 19th centuries in the American South. One common story, albeit one that's probably more of a folk tale than actual history, ties bourbon's creation to the white Baptist preacher Elijah Craig, whose name still graces the bottles of a namesake bourbon brand to this day. But evidence shows us that it was actually black hands that took on a lot of the work that went into making these now classic spirits long before it was bottled.
There's the obvious tremendous physical labor that went into it, right? You had to move large quantities of grain and other such non-glamorous jobs. And when we look at a lot of the old-timey white gentlemen who were on the bottles, right? Like, I don't imagine Elijah Craig was out here rolling around barrels himself, right? Because in 1789, if you had enough money, why would you do that?
That's Che Ramos, also known as the Black Bourbon Guy. He runs a set of whiskey and bourbon tasting events that walk people through the very long and blacker than you think history of the spirits. Take none other than Old No. 7 itself, Jack Daniels. Arguably, the most famous American whiskey brand owes its iconic taste to a black man, Nathan Nearest Green, also known as Uncle Nearest.
He was the master distiller on the property of a Lutheran pastor in Shelbyville, Tennessee. He was in charge of producing whiskey. A teenage Jack Daniel came to work on that farm at some point. The Lutheran pastor put the two of them together, asked Nathaniel, or Uncle Nearest, if you will, to teach Jack Daniel how to make Tennessee whiskey, and the legend was born.
So why is it called Jack Daniels and not Uncle Nearest? Well,
we're talking the 1880s here, right? So unfortunately, it was not a realistic possibility for a black formerly enslaved man, or not formerly enslaved man for that matter, to raise enough capital to start a distillery himself. So there are people who believe that Jack Daniels kind of did Uncle Nearest dirty. I don't think that that is the case at all. Just the environment did not really work out well.
Since 2016, Jack Daniels has acknowledged and celebrated Green's role in creating its signature product. Green is recognized on distillery tours and in the drink's history as its first master distiller.
When we first told the story, we did not realize the significance and the importance to people But it became very, very clear that this was an important story that people felt pride in. Here is a name that people didn't know that they could point to, an African-American, once enslaved individual who'd accomplished something really remarkable in American industry with a name that we all know today. So it's important that people know Nearest's name.
The company also consciously chose not to make its own whiskey line honoring Green after hearing concerns that it would look like the company was cashing in on Green's name for its own gain. But his influence is recognized in other brands. In 2017, author Fawn Weaver launched her own whiskey brand after meeting relatives of Uncle Nearest who still worked for Jack Daniels. The name of the new brand? Uncle Nearest. And the master distiller? None other than Uncle Nearest's great-great-granddaughter, Victoria Edie Butler. In recent years, we've seen even more Black-owned brands join the scene, with experts estimating there are now a few dozen Black-owned distilleries. St. Liberty Whiskey has focused its whiskeys on women who distilled during Prohibition in the 1920s. One drink honors Bertie Brown, a Black woman in Montana who was one of the top moonshine makers in the country until she met an untimely death during the distillation process.
Some of the vapor from her product caught fire and blew her kitchen up, taking her out with it. So a really unfortunate end to someone who sounded like she was a fantastic woman, because, I mean, Prohibition running in the 1920s and 30s, it wasn't easy to do much as a Black woman.
That point resonated with St. Liberty investors Dia Sims and Aaron Harris. They're already the CEO and Chief Brand Officer, respectively, of another drink, Lobo 1707 Tequila, but the chance to join a project that honored those who came before them was too good to pass up.
Their stories really shine because, look, of course they were, living on the lam and doing things that weren't within the law at that time, but they also were thriving entrepreneurs, right? Like driving their own economic empowerment at a time where things were even more constrained than they are today.
The way they see it, that long history allows them to make more of it today.
When you talk about Black entrepreneurs, ownership and equity is so important to build wealth. So we've been around this industry working with distributors, working in the 360 ecosystem, and we haven't seen a lot of people like us.
Folks, we've talked a lot about the past and present history of distilling the drinks, but now we're going to explore a bit about Black folks consuming and encouraging the appreciation of bourbon whiskey. For that, we traveled down to Atlanta to sit down for a drink with Symrna B. Davis, founder and chief bourbon enthusiast at the Black Bourbon Society, and bellied up to a bar with her and master mixologist Tondi Walton to learn a little bit more.
Symrna B. Davis, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's wonderful being here at the Thompson Buckhead in Atlanta, Georgia. And we're joined by Tondi Walton, head of beverage at the Thompson Buckhead. My first question for you, would you like a drink?
Absolutely.
What should we have? Let's consult with the head of beverage.
We shall have a bourbon cocktail with a little Zimbabwean South African flavor to it. Growing up in Zimbabwe, of course, we drank a lot of tea. So it's important for me to keep my culture within my creations. So it's rooibos syrup that I basically created out of rooibos tea that has hibiscus, elderberry, a few other loose leaves. And I add little sugar, brown sugar.
Gotta have the brown sugar. It is Black History Month. So.
Yes. Hey, cheers to Meet Me in Africa.
It's called Meet Me in Africa?
Today is called Meet Me in Africa.
Wonderful. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Oh, that's
delicious. Man, that is amazing. I want to ask this. How did that love of bourbon blossom into the Black Bourbon Society?
I started to play around with different bourbons. I started to really pay attention to the smell, to the taste, the sense of it, all of that, the sensory experience of bourbon. And coming from California, that was very easy for me to do because we used to do that in the wine industry. And so we used to drive up to Napa and had all the wines, and that same experience with wine was completely applicable to bourbon.
What is the narrative that has surrounded bourbon and bourbon drinkers? What does a bourbon drinker look like? Or what did people in marketing and advertising think that bourbon drinkers look like?
Well, back then, and we have to put context into that, that I started Black Bourbon Society almost 7 years ago. So go back 7 years, there is no African-American bourbon brand, very little African-American representation within the spirits industry itself. However, in the past 7 years, we've seen a major shift in this industry. First of all, interest in bourbon has like skyrocketed in that time frame.
Sales have
skyrocketed. Innovation has skyrocketed. Brands coming to the market. Again, you've got brand new brands like Uncle Nearest coming to the table. So now in this space, you see women, entering in the space, and African Americans.
From your perspective, as head of beverage here at Thompson Buckhead, what is it that you've seen in the industry over the last 10 years, especially when it comes to Black consumers and brands reaching out to those Black consumers?
So what I've seen is the elevation of the palate.
Mm-hmm.
So went from Jack, to now we want everything neat or old-fashioned. I've seen the influx of old-fashions from high tier. So it's never the bottom of the barrel no more. They know what they would like to consume. I'm so proud of us as a people on the elevation of palates. I used to say I changed palates by the bar stool. I don't have to do that no more.
I want to talk a little bit about barriers to entry. I think about economic hardships, getting loans, things of the like, and how things are oftentimes worse for Black Americans. So in thinking about, barriers to entry, what are they when it comes to the spirits industry, and how, if at all, is that reflective of what it looks like for Americans in general?
Well, there are a lot of barriers if you want to go from distilling to producing a product, right? So if you want to build a distillery, you're talking about $10 million off top, right? And and it's even more than that, really. It's more like 50, especially when you start talking about securing the land, drawing up the plans, then building out a distillery, getting the still, which is custom made from Vendome, and you start talking about all the equipment that needs to go into what a distillery needs in order to get started. That doesn't include the fact that once you distill the product, you then have to wait 4 to 6 years for it to mature before you put it in a bottle and sell it. So that path to getting into the whiskey industry is only really available for a very small few, but there's an easier way to do it. For African Americans in particular, and for women even, women have found a way to get into this a lot faster than I see Black spirits professionals getting into. It's really the opportunities and the mentorship. There's barriers there as well, just because we don't have the freedom, the flexibility to just focus on being an apprentice. So those are the barriers that we're really seeing. But there are a few folks that are pushing past those barriers, right? The social barriers, the economic barriers, just the accessibility barriers, and that are still dedicated to the spirit and getting it done.
Symrna B. Davis.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
This was great.
Tandy Walter. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
One more.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yay. Thank you.
Cheers.